Welcome, friends and fiends. Are you ready to shiver at another spine-tingling tale? Then you're in luck. Or not. Hold fast to your courage as you listen to the story of Lightning and Crash of Thunder, Murder at Castle Nathria. Castle Nathria. A dangerous place, where ruthless eyes gawk in the night, where even the most powerful cannot reverse the implacable turn of the dark wheels of fate, and where it is generally unwise to accept party invitations delivered by gargoyles. The Great Hall. We hear the sounds from a party. Murmurs, clinking glasses, appropriate music. After his dinner party guests had assembled in the Great Hall, Sire Denathrius, the master of Revendreth, raised a golden goblet of red misty anima, perhaps blissfully unaware that he had invited his worst nemesis. Welcome to my humble home. I know all are eager to become better acquainted over a grand feast and harmless, innocent parlor games. For instance, I myself wonder, what did each of you hope for by accepting my invitation? Riches? Knowledge? The cachet of being seen with me? Or perhaps you have heard vile rumors that I, Sire Denathrius, have been ruthlessly hoarding anima. True, it is heady and intoxicating, frighteningly good, and makes you powerful beyond... Denathrius coughs, realizing he is about to prove the rumors true. But, as I was saying, I hope tonight will be an evening you'll never forget. I have a few final touches to prepare for the evening's festivities. Please explore my home till you are summoned for dinner. Denathrius's hoofsteps fade into the distance. A door slams shut. While the guests were confused by the host's departure, they took the sire's suggestion and for some time wandered about the castle and its grounds, all by themselves. When suddenly, the crush of a goblet! Sound of the anima wafting upward like a soft wind. A shrill scream from Stewart. Help! Help! Sire, Denathrius has been murdered! This is an OP33 Paladin card. Dramatic music! It was true. Denathrius, the sire, lay on the floor of the dining hall. How the mighty have fallen. The 10 guests, every one of them now suspects, all gathered around. Running feet and hooves, slamming doors, gasps of surprise. But who had done this dreadful deed? The mysterious broker? Artificer Zymox? Ah, he was so good for business. The ethereal with the spot-on title of Arch-Villain Reform! My very good and dear friend, Sire Denathriel, no! The orcish Baroness Draka. Ah, clearly you are very close to him, Rafam. Or 2 others who hailed from Maldraxxus, Decimator Olgra, another orc, who had come on a mission. He can't be dead! I needed something from him. Perhaps it was Baroness Vosh, the Naga, who, like Draka was formerly of the House of Spies. Who could have possibly wanted him dead? Or was it the Sire's ally, the power-hungry lich, Kel'Thuzad? I am devastated and outraged. How could you be so careless, Denathrius? Now none of our schemes are going to be hatched. I think you said the quiet part out loud. Could the killer be one of the 2 visitors from Ardenveld, the Silvar Arlon, or Cecily, the Tyrande? What a tragic turn. Rustle, rustle. I cannot say our queen will be unhappy. Surely it couldn't have been the kindly Kyrian invitee, Pelagos. Such events are always tragic, but he was not the nicest person, was he? It definitely wasn't the loyal steward, Stuart. Or was it? Hoo, poor sire, hoo. The guests all stared at one another with suspicion. Someone here, among us, was a killer. Not long after the accusations started to fly, there was a flash of lightning, and a rumble of thunder, and the front doors were flung open. In the doorway stood a figure, small but mighty, one to give hope to the innocent and strike fear in the hearts of the guilty. It was none other than the great detective, Murloc Holmes. Yes, it was he himself and his friend and colleague, Dr. Watfin. Everyone gasped. Like the master detective he is, Holmes took control of the room at once. The suspects were instructed not to leave while he examined the body. Holmes is gurgling as if saying the things attributed to him. Holmes found it curious that he could unearth nothing to indicate the cause of death. He asked the sire's servants to remove the body, then he drew a chalk outline on the floor. He must discover who done it before he could discover how done it. Where were the suspects at the time of the murder? Erlon was in the kennels. Cecily was in the maze. Lady Vosh was in the muck pools. Draka was in the Sinstone Cemetery. The game was afoot. Holmes decided to begin his investigations at the locations outside the castle. The first stop, the kennels. Huntsman Altamore wasn't here, so he cannot vouch for me, but the Gargon hounds can. Terrible sounds of threat turn to equally terrible sounds of affectionate greeting. Hello again, friends. May I pet your dog too, Draka? Oh, no. Where to next, Mr. Holmes? So many suspects, so many sights. What clues might the great detective find in his effort to solve the murder? Perhaps Draka was eager to distract him from something important. It was time to investigate her alibi and visit the sinister Sinstone Cemetery. Detective Murloc Holmes has been interrogating the suspects and retracing their steps. His feet, have brought him to the Sinstone Cemetery, home to tortured souls and stone-born beasts. A place where someone plotting the murder of Sire Denathrius might well choose to lurk. Someone like Baroness Draka? The fly girl. Yes, Mr. Holmes, the sinister cemetery is muddy. Look, a clue! The footprints of a gigantic hound. Those are death fangs. Oof. Murgle? Gra? Some people, I'm sure, attended Denathrius' dinner party for dishonorable reasons, so I kept watch to see if anyone re-entered the castle. Besides, it's a good place for Deathfang to dig. To Deathfang in a high, I'm talking to my dog voice. Isn't it? Who's a good boy? It's Deathfang, and he knows it. All his hands making happy sounds. Holmes nodded as if he knew something they didn't. They continued on to the muck pools to confirm Vosh's alibi. The muck pools. Mud bubbles, trees creaking, soft sounds of swamp-dwelling creatures. Bristly striding feet come to a halt, sound of Vosh slithering up to speak. Ah, the muck pools. Burbling birthplace of budding butlers. At least, treasure butlers. How easy it would be to drop a murder weapon into this putrid place and let it rest forever, undiscovered. Baroness Vosh certainly seemed fond of the location. But why? There. That's the trail where I slithered in and out of the pools. Mud is so good for the skin. Does no one else wish to take a quick dip? Ribbit. Murgle, Gribblegrum. We'll come back later. Dr. Watfin, when all this unpleasantness has been wrapped up. Murgle Durgle. It's no secret that Draka and I, and others, suspected our host planned the destruction of the House of Eyes. It's Denathrius we're talking about, after all. The strange little group continued to the hedge maze. It's easy to get lost while wandering in a hedge maze, isn't it? And so hard to find your way out, especially when the plants themselves don't want you to. Perhaps Cecily had been hoping to lure Nathria into its dark heart. Forever. Isn't it beautiful? Yes, yes, of course, it is. Ah, lovely. Murgle Gurgle, the like rock? Yes, I did attend on behalf of the Winter Queen. She suspects Nathria is behind the anima drought. I thought I would ask the hedge plants if they knew anything, and, well, I got lost in conversation. The plants can vouch for me. Creaking sounds from the hedge. You see? Murgle, Florp. Oh, I wish you did understand them, because otherwise, I do not know how else to convince you. But was he convinced? Only one location remained to explore outside the castle proper. The only place in Revendreth where a Bastion resident might feel comfortable enough to ponder, or perhaps plot. Revendreth hardly comes to mind when you talk of cathedrals, does it? And yet, there is. The Cathedral of Atonement. Once it was a symbol of Revendreth's sincere mission to help save souls, but in recent times, well, not so much. Was it the noble past or the unscrupulous present that drew Pelagos here? Cathedral of Atonement. Inspirational haunting music. I regret to tell you, Mr. Holmes, no one accompanied me or saw me here. I came to meditate on the rumors that Sire Nathria was hoarding anima. That is all. Is it? Why did you choose the Cathedral of Atonement unless you had something to atone for? Because it's the only cathedral in Revendreth. Oh, never mind. Murgle Blabcog. Murgle Brackblerg? If Sire Nathria truly did cause the anima drought, and he confronted me, then quite honestly, I do not know what I would do. With the grounds explored, it was time to return to Castle Nathria, and investigate what transpired within that dread place. More specifically, within the kitchen. Kitchens are associated with nourishment and warmth, fellowship. They also have quite a lot of sharp knives and boiling liquids and fire, and, well, you get the idea. It seems like every party winds up in the kitchen, doesn't it? Can't you at least tell us if you've eliminated anyone thus far? Yerp. Blargly Gak Murgle. Erlon looks tired. Would you like something soothing? Here, drink this. Gold goblet. Murgle! Globble Brack! A slap. Then the goblet crashes to the floor. Everyone gasps. Ow, that hurt my hand. Murgle! Yes, I do indeed have holy spice in my kitchen. And yes, I am aware it is bad for Venthyr like Sire. But I personalize goblets to be extra safe. He's right. There's a cute little medallion around the stem that says, Arelon, this is for you. Ooh. But, Stuart, I overheard you saying you had something special prepared for Sire Nathria. Yes. Here, smell. Black. Yes, garlic. I am certain Mr. Holmes knows that it is harmless to Venthyr such as Sire, who loved it. Who? Glarby Murgle? Begah? Blurgle? I was in the Nightcloak Sanctum. It's a private room, but if you insist, Mr. Holmes. The Nightcloak Sanctum, an exclusive place for private conversations, plans, plots, and also for safely stashing some darn fun things or wacky, wholesome fun. I may not be the nicest person, but I am loyal. After the toast, Nathria asked me to come to the sanctum and find something we would need for the after-dinner conviviality. He said it was important. Blargly? This classic board game. Rattle of pieces inside a cardboard box, cheesy music a la 1980s board game commercials. Murgle, Glep Blarg Murg. Me. Well, while that horrible deed was being done to my very good and dear friend Sire Denabrius, I was just walking around, you know, innocently. Black Blarg? Murgles! The library? Oh, we don't need to go there. Library doors, footsteps lead us there. The library, a place for books and secrets, and maybe a nap. Oh, so this is the door to the library. Murgle? Gleeble? Bursk? Why are you whispering? Shh! It's a library! This is definitely not a piece of my wrapping caught in the door. No, wait, don't open! I knew I smelled smoke. I saw a farm on fire, but there was no time to get water. I'm relieved you are all right. It was burned when I got... Poof. Fellfire, imp chatters are farm size. Alright, it was me. Them. I confess fully, I was trying to steal a tome of rare spells. I did it. You buffoon! That's not what you were being accused of. You've just confessed to stealing from and burning the library for nothing. But you did provide your alibi regarding Sire Nathria. What? I mean, yes. Look, my wrappings are still smoking a little bit. See? We hear the sound of flames and Rafam slapping himself to put them out. Now it was time to descend into Castle Nathria's twisted heart, first the vault, and then the sanguine depths. The murder investigation was now leading Murloc Holmes into some very dark places, and perhaps even into danger. The vault certainly was not for the faint of heart, but perhaps it would yield its secrets to the greatest detective of all. I was here when the incident occurred. Blarf girl! Blap! Murgle! Blarbeck Murgle? To protect the relics, of course. With such a rogues gallery of guests. Watch it. Someone would be sure to steal something. That would be me! I stole something, because I was definitely not killing my very good and dear friend Denapalooza. Now you're not even trying. Galagla Bach Remerg? What, this? It's the relic of extinction. Someone had dropped it? Oh, alright. I was trying to steal it. Murgle glub blub. Pack Murgle. Krish clack. Must we all go, Mr. Holmes? I hear what happens there is painful to witness. I think the soul sent there would say it is painful, period. Kel'Thuzad's words were an understatement. Truly, save for the horrific maw itself, the sanguine depths are the darkest place in all the Shadowlands. For it is here the condemned souls suffer and work off the sins of their lives by having their prideful anima extracted. I do not like this place. It is not meant to be liked. It is made to torture, and that was why I was here. I was searching for my husband, Mancrick. I had heard rumors that he was here, and I accepted the invitation to find out. I did not have much time to look for him. Now, I may never know. I am sad for you. Croak. Thank you both. Can we finally go now? Holmes told the group he now knew what had been done and who had done it. They returned to the place where it all started, the dining hall. There, standing beside the chalk outline of the felled sire, the great detective explained his reasoning. It had been a rainy night, yet there were no muddy footprints other than those clearly made when everyone had returned. Thank goodness, so all of us who were outside are innocent. Holmes replied that it was possible, but there were still many secret passages in the castle. They were not necessarily in the clear. Deathfang whimpered sadly. Olgra would not have killed Sire Nathria, Holmes told the guests. She needed him to find the answers she sought about her mate. Thank you for believing me, Mr. Holmes. The love between you and Mancrick was legendary, Olgra. I hope you find your mate one day. I hope the same for you, friend. Ugh, let's get on with this, shall we? We all know that I am entirely innocent of murder, so that leaves Kel'Thuzad, Zymox, and... Stuart? Who, me? No, not Stuart. Holmes announced that he was, at last, certain as to who was responsible for what happened to Sire Nathria. It was... Murloc! Wait, who was it? I must confess, I haven't understood a single word he's said tonight. Ah, my friends and fiends, would you too like to know? Of course you would. You must solve the murder yourself. If you can.